As much as you're angry right now, of course I ran. Evocation's on cooldown, man.
So what you were just looking at was a little clip that was posted by the developer of a game by the name of Idle Streaming Bonanza, a game that is not currently out yet that you can download the demo for, but has not been released. A simple game with a bunch of parodies of different well-known content creators, but specifically, the clip that you just saw caused that developer to receive a DMCA strike from Pirate Software. It appears, however, though, that this DMCA strike was false. To start things off, I want to direct you guys to a much more well put together video. This comes from The Other Frost on YouTube, and it's titled Pirate Software False DMCA'd Indie Dev and Threatened to Sue, Good Samaritan Lawyer Steps in Pro Bono. This video does an excellent job at outlining what has gone on so far, and so I'm going to give you guys a bit of a Reader's Digest and then also bring up a few points that I'd found myself through my own research. So this all starts with his own Reddit post where he put out like a self-promo saying he put Pirate Software drama in his indie game, and he showed the clip that I showed you at the beginning of the video. Now this advertisement in the game got in front of Pirate Software's eyes, and then he proceeded to do a DMCA takedown of said game because it was using his voice. And as we can see here, Jason Thorhall alleges that they hold the copyrights to their voice found here, and that your use of their voice without their authorization infringes their rights. And so they had temporarily removed the posting of the game from Steam as required by law. Now, if you're very perceptive, you'll notice that I was actually able to show you the store page for the game, and we'll get into why that is. To follow that up, Pirate Software actually talks about the situation on one of his live streams when he was playing Path of Exile.
Hey, Kronos. We have to file a legal complaint against that dude earlier. I'm gonna pause this for a moment. There was a dude earlier today that went onto Reddit and said that he was using my voice in a video game, showed a bunch of videos of it, and then put that game up on Steam. A lot of people in the thread told him not to do that, that would end up being a legal problem for him. He did it anyway. So I filed a DMCA claim, and he has now filed a counterclaim against me. We're going to take you to court. You're going to lose. You cannot use somebody's likeness or voice in any way inside of your games without their permission. It's a really stupid thing to do. Incredibly so. So I'm going to send this over to Kronos now because he is a lawyer in copyright law. That is his job. Welcome to the Finding Out timeline, bud.
So as you can see, Pirate is taking this pretty seriously, that being that the game includes his voice. And from what I, basically understand after doing a little bit of Google keyboard warrior research, if the voice doesn't change at all, if you're just straight up using their voice, especially most particularly when it's in a commercial sense, so like if he were to sell his game, that would fall under copyright. You wouldn't be allowed to do that. That's why shows like South Park, from what I understand, use different voices and they try to parody known celebrities. But that's from a very stupid understanding of someone who's never worked in law a day in their life. But here's where things take a bit of a turn. Pirate Software's voice was not in the game, not a game that people could play on Steam. It was a developer build of the game that the developer was advertising with. Here on the left is that developer talking about that.
I showed one video of a possible build or a concept and put it on Reddit. The game, that concept or what's on my machine was not on Reddit. There's no build of him ever on Reddit or on Steam. There's no data in my game of him on Steam. There's no active build with him on it. So he's chasing fucking ghosts.
Being a legal problem for him, he did it anyway.
Because I did a counterclaim, because the only reason I did the counterclaim is because that build that has his voice on there is not on Steam. It's the only reason I did the counterclaim. If it was on Steam, I would have accepted it and just took it down. And the only reason I'm fighting this is because he's removing my game from Steam when he's not on it. That's the issue I have with it. All the other issues I'm fine with. I'll concede to it. I don't have a problem with that. The issue I have is he's taken my game off Steam when he did not play. None of them played the demo. I asked them, I said, hey, did you guys play the demo? And they said no. They said that's neither here nor there. We don't have to because you posted it on Reddit. We just assume that's the build you got.
So as you saw there, the build he was using to advertise the game wasn't even the one that you could actually play, which, you know, we can have a conversation about that being a little scummy, you know, going for feedback about, you know, a game build that isn't even what the game is. But I think a main issue that I saw a lot of people having with this and a lot of back and forth was the fact that there was no due diligence done to confirm that Pirate Software's voice was in the game. If you're going down the legal procedure of filing a DMCA claim against content, well, if the content doesn't exist in the form that you think it does, that's probably a pretty big important thing to, you know, make sure of before you actually go into filing. Again, I'm a commentary YouTuber. I know absolutely nothing. This is just coming from the heart, so take it as you will. And like he mentioned this, he asked them if they had played the game, because the reason he was counterclaiming was because it wasn't in there, and if they played the demo, they would see that. And they said that that was not important. A lot of people that I saw in comments talking about this were saying, well, it's stupid that they would need to buy the game to play it to see if it was true to do it. I think the biggest counter to that argument is the fact that you don't have to buy the game. The only thing that's out for it right now is a demo. So the furthest that this had to go was just for them to reach out to the developer and talk about saying like, hey, that's illegal, can't do that, or just play the demo, see that it's not in there, and then that's it. He was just false advertising, which, you know, he can be called out for. And I found it interesting that if you go onto Steam here and take a look at the notice of copyright infringement, this is, you know, where you go to submit a copyright claim. They mentioned specifically, submitting a claim of copyright infringement is a serious legal matter. Before you proceed, you might consider contacting the individual directly to address the complaint. It might be a simple misunderstanding and possible to address without involving proper legal process. I just find it interesting that they didn't go through that course of action, although it can also make sense since, I mean, the game that he's making has Pirate Software as a cockroach in a wizard hat. I can understand a heat of the moment type thing, but amidst all of this, we have a lawyer that pops into the fray. This drama got in front of the eyes of this lawyer, and so he is now working with the developer pro bono to fight this. This is the video I mentioned earlier from the other Frost, and he actually reached out to the lawyer that's been working with the developer and was able to get some comments from him.
Now keep in mind, I'm not a free speech defense lawyer out of Connecticut that steps in from time to time to help content creators pro bono when their freedom of speech is being impeded, but Mario is. I spoke with him. Mario happened upon Ferentino's video talking about the false claim, and did not like that someone with a large and impressionable audience was spreading free speech misinformation. He also did not appreciate the lawsuit bully tactics. I quote, "It pissed me right the fuck off." So Mario reached out to Brandon Ferentino and took him on as a client free of charge. He made a formal demand to Pirate Software's team to withdraw the DMCA takedown notice within 24 hours, and it seems to have worked because the game is back on the Steam marketplace.
Now, you've heard my opinion talking about some of the points legally where it comes down to, you know, what is right or wrong about a DMCA strike in this situation. But I don't think you should listen to me at all. I think that a lawyer like Mario helping out this developer would know a great deal more. And to follow that up, Pirate Software actually made a response to this video that I've been showing you. This is the other Frost's Twitter, and I noticed that he had made a post talking about releasing the video that I've been showing you guys. Pirate Software actually replied to it. He said the DMCA was absolutely not unlawful. We filed a DMCA in response to the developer claiming that he put my voice in his video game in a playable build, and he showed evidence of this in a video via a Reddit thread. He goes on to say he was told by many others that doing this was not legally advisable and decided to move forward anyway in another thread he made about this here. When we filed the DMCA, he then went on to state that this was all bait in an effort to boost his game. You can see this on his YouTube video here. We took down the DMCA notice as he reached out and stated that he would be voice acting the lines instead. You're spreading misinformation in a biased form to generate views. We've handled this through the legal route as is appropriate. Frost ended up replying to Pirate Software. Number 1, you signed off that you were the copyright owner of material that was not in the game without checking or considering fair use. Number 2, I asked a free speech defense lawyer for the wording. They said it was unlawful. And then they sent a link and screenshot from that Steam page that I was showing you guys earlier. He then followed it up with, as for the bias and misinformation remark, I reached out to all parties involved. I showed the Reddit thread you linked, I showed the video, I showed your stream VOD. I linked to them all. I even said charity can be given to you because maybe you relied on secondhand information. Now there seems to be a little more that may be coming in the next couple of weeks here. I just wanted to showcase this comes from the developer of the game here. He says the DMC that Pirate Software had placed on my game has been lifted. I am still waiting to say anything more as advised by my attorney, but there's a lot. Now in the video that the developer had made, he was also arguing, was an individual in the comments, and made this point that a statement will be made with his lawyer in a couple weeks. So we've got a rough timeline to see, you know, what more comes out of this. I'm very curious to see what that statement will be with a lawyer behind him, what they're going to say, and, you know, if they end up taking this to court, but I don't think so since the DMC was removed. But I am particularly interested to see what happens as this moves forward. If it's a really small update, I'll just throw up a community post, but that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, come play Dota with me, join the Discord. Link is in the comment section. But that's it for the video. I'll see you guys later. Adios, peace, see ya.